say a little bit about the topic? Why Tren? The Cancerian with the vision. A hoodie in the bucket hat is often his decision. Why high? A king from Queens, you never disrespect. The wise OG, but what else would you expect? Why Dame? The flyest and the highest of them all. You need a perfect shot, he's the one that you should call. All three combined in a little of your time. Welcome to the show and let him ease your mind.
It doesn't matter when we are or where we are because we are.
Because we are.
Because we are better than
Because
them.
we are.
Because we are.
Because we are. Because we are. Because we are.
Yo, yo, yo.
What up?
Welcome back to the Because We Are podcast, or welcome to the Because We Are podcast if you've been here before and you just, or if you've never been here before, I should say. Thank you for coming. Call.me.hot is here. Gobble _ is here. I am Tren Dollars. We are the hostess with the mostest. And we're gonna give y'all some good content today. Don't shake your head, man. Stop
You said that wrong. We're not hostesses, bro.
Hostess?
No, host with the most. The hostess thing was
with the most?
Yeah.
I thought it was just hostess was just like hostess was just.
No, that means a girl. And it always did.
All right. Well, I fucked that up, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's all good.
We're Twinkies. Twinkies are hostess too, right?
Twinkies. That sounds like a slur a little bit. Last day of Pride.
Cut off the E. Yeah.
Damn, what a rough start. Happy Pride again, everybody. Last week, so y'all can get off y'all last, Pride takes as we close up this June and
Pride takes.
Yeah. If you got any last minute things that y'all want to get off, because everything after that, we haven't been saying pause a lot during this June, which I'm proud of us for being mature and growing up a little bit. I'm really proud of us for that.
Y'all remember when Lisa Ray cursed out her sister, the brat, because apparently the brat didn't tell her that she was gay before she came out?
No, I didn't. But why was she mad?
Because she heard through the blogs and I feel like if Lisa Ray didn't know the brat was gay, I feel like you were probably the last person on the planet.
My thing is, but you ever have somebody come out to you though? I feel like that's like a thing, right? Like it's one thing to just know somebody is gay, but it's another thing to have them come to you and tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like it still feels kind of special. That happened to me in college. Like there was a dude that we all knew was gay, but when he came out and said it, it was just like, yeah, man, we know. We know, but we fuck with you though. Like.
You know what's funny? I did not know. I had no fucking clue. And when I found out,
so you were the last person.
I was the last. I don't think I was the last person to know. I think he held it. He had hit it pretty well. But when he came out, it was just like, oh, all right. I ain't tripping about that. It wasn't a big deal. But the next time I saw him, there were signs. And I just hadn't picked up on the signs.
You were just looking, yeah. You started looking.
I'm just staring at him, and I was just like, "You really, ain't you?"
That does make sense.
You know what? I see it. It literally was like night and day. I did not know, and then it was completely obvious.
He unplugged you, man. He unplugged you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Stop. What'd I just say? We've been good all June.
I didn't say pause.
Still, you got a coming out story? Anybody ever come out to you? You have any gay people in your life?
Yeah, of course. They never came out to me though. Not to me.
He lives in Miami.
But he'd always live in Miami.
No, it was kind of one of those things where you just maybe you follow them on social media after a few years and they're out living their best lives now, pretty open, and it's like, oh, okay, good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Anybody ever went back in?
Explain that. Elaborate, please.
So I had a homegirl in high school who was gay, who dated masked women, studs we call them in the black community.
Absolutely. There are no such thing as white studs, y'all. Just so y'all know.
Apparently, white women can't be studs, which
I didn't know that.
True.
It's called a butch.
Well, I was gonna say something else. The other word.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you can't say that.
First hour.
But she dated studs all through high school. Same deal. Followed her on social media via college, and 2 years later, she popped out with a baby and married with a dude, and it was just like, hold on. You know how many of us didn't take shots at you because
that's what we call it.
That was your
switcheroo. He was just playing defense.
Switcheroo.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate that at all, man.
Yeah,
Grace, that was some bullshit. Anyway,
you got all them likes on Facebook for sharing, your story and how you came out, and then you go and I'm sure there's a lot of people that be getting mad. Like I feel like the bisexual community gets it real hard. I know y'all don't know nothing about this, but like the bisexual community gets it really hard when they pop out with like, the opposite sex
as a straight person.
Yeah, like when they're in a straight, like if you say you're bisexual and you're in a straight relationship, they start to be like,
you kind of get looked at sideways for sure.
Yeah, it's like
I can see that.
It's a lot of shame, That's why there's a whole thing like Bisexual Visibility Day. It's like I can't be bisexual and be dating the opposite sex still.
Like
you know what? And to be honest with you, everybody else is like tough. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be kind of tough to like be trans. You know what I'm saying? You got to be tough to be pan. You know what I'm saying? If you bi, bro, you kind of like, you got to be the most soft, like the most. I don't want to say say the P word, but you're kind of the weakest of the alphabets. You feel me?
Really?
Because
why is that?
Yeah, it's easy to just, be straight. Like, pick a side. You feel me? Like, you straddle in the fence, literally.
But then you have Pan, who will literally fuck any and everybody.
Right. But to me, that's
wouldn't
still
that be
tough.
the weakest?
Nah, because that's tough. Because if you pan, you are like you're just outside. You know what I'm saying? And that's
you say that somebody fucks a goat.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think that's as far as the pan stretches.
I'm sure there's a pan. I'm sure there's a pan that would be looking at them goats. Them goats.
I feel like I would not call. I feel like I would not call that person pan because it's a bit of a slippery slope if you keep going. Like the
the pan to other indicator or
exactly
other identificator pipeline is probably real strong. It's probably like damn, there's a lot of sexy people out there. Damn, there's a lot of sexy other things out there.
Like we want to limit that. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid,
how come they're not included in the letters? There's no P.
Plus, probably.
Oh,
LGBTQIA plus.
Yeah, the plus.
Yeah.
Are they not in?
Sometimes why?
So P's an ugly letter. I don't know. LGBTQ.
No, there.
Q, I, A, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I guess not.
Stop.
I guess there's no.
But but we can close on this. I want to get into some other stuff. But who y'all think winning? Who do you think is the if they all get in a fight, the LGBTQIA? Who fight? Who winning in that fight? The letters.
Come on now. Let's be serious. It's the T's.
I'd go with the G's.
I'm telling y'all, to be a T, you got to be a different type of nigga. Just to be clear, you got to be on some different stuff, man, to be a T. Being G is just like, you know what I'm saying? You kissed your friend at the park when you was 14. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. To be a T? Nah, man, that's a different bag. It's like the white boy in a gang. Like, he had to do some stuff to get to get the respect of everybody else in that gang.
Low key, I'm gonna give G the edge. I'm giving G's the edge.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm giving G's that edge.
G's gonna give you the edge.
What's up?
So happy Pride, y'all.
Dame not the only one that's attractive on this podcast, y'all. Y'all can holler at me, man. Y'all can say what's up.
You might want to cut this. You want to talk about that?
No, I don't actually.
Right,
I do want to talk about the fact that TikTok is on some bullshit taken down some of our videos. One of our videos got disqualified, and I have a theory as to why it might have.
Tell me.
I feel like they thought that we were posting content that we didn't own. You know, for those that's listening that might have not heard, but we posted a bunch of Because We Feud type videos where Damon took his hat off and put on a bushy mustache, you know what I'm saying, and had a whole get up and everything. And what I think is that TikTok saw that and said, hey, this looks a lot like Steve Harvey. They're posting, and we had the music and we had some of the sound, so they were probably like, yo, this is a Family Feud clip. This isn't allowed. So they took our shit down, which wasn't
Fucking
cool.
bots.
And here's my thing. TikTok don't got no like real life people checking them videos. It's all AI.
Mhm.
So that
Yep.
means that Damon was dressed up so well. He was cosplaying so well that it fooled the AI into thinking, nah, that's Steve. We got to take that down. We
And here I was stressing out because I couldn't find a tie.
Yeah. Nah, man. It was a master job, honestly. It really was a master work. Honestly, I think your Halloween costume is already
I
selected.
might have to be Steve Harvey. I might have
You
to.
know.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
get those,
it
get the
just
cue
makes
cards.
sense.
If you go to a party, you'll
Mhm.
be the life of the party, man. Just start asking people questions, like
For sure.
I
I do gotta know what the mustache was made out of, because it looked like
Yeah, I don't know, it's
like
fake
cat
mustache.
fur. I ain't gonna hold you.
It
Yeah,
does
why
look
do you
like
still
that,
just
bro.
have it by the desk?
Is it just
I'm
there?
gonna frame this. I'm gonna frame this.
Just ready
Put this
to-
right here
Yeah.
Oh,
to
my
remember
goodness.
to remember
Yes.
to always remember this moment, or to always that moment in our time.
You gotta frame it. You gotta frame it. But shout out to
that
shout out
made
to
the
us.
difference.
It really did. It really did.
I just painted mine on. If I knew we was going when I was Martin Luther King,
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
painted
crazy.
mine on.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. You painted the whole like beard. Did you do that all yourself, or did you have somebody help you with that?
Nah, that was all me.
That video got disqualified for some reason too.
Like, why are they posting
like,
Martin
Martin?
Luther King clips?
That's him. I have a dream.
Yeah, like I can't probably see. Yeah, the King of State don't play that, man. They saw you there, like get this man out of here now.
Yeah, man.
I have somewhere I want to start though, y'all. I just found out today that they're making a live action Street Fighter movie, or that it's in the process of being made right now. They're figuring out the casting, and I just found out that 50 Cent is gonna be playing Balrog, which is one of the people that they said we forgot in the video game black character conversation. But either way, 50 Cent being casted as Balrog. Now, I don't know how buff 50 Cent still is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that athletes, they tend to have the ability to like buff up and do what they do, but I feel like this is pretty solid casting for the most part. I think we should talk about this, because this might be a good live action series. You know, we have mixed feelings about a lot of these things, about how things are going. You know, I don't think y'all tuned into The Last of Us anymore. I also haven't. But we have mixed feelings about live action video game adaptations. So I want to get into this a little bit. I want to read off some of the other casting choices before we judge all of them. But I'd heard that 50 Cent was going to be Balrog. And there's also talks they might have found a Chun-Li, a woman named Kalina Liang, which
I
I'll
actually
get
saw
to.
that one, yeah.
I'll get to later. And then somebody else, or some other people that they might have found. Andrew Koji, I'm not sure who he's playing. But the other notable names that y'all will know is Jason Momoa. I'm not sure who he's playing. And Roman Reigns, who I know y'all know.
Oh yeah, Roman Maga Reigns.
Yeah, and then a dude named Orville Peck. And then another dude named Noah Centineo. I don't know if y'all know any of those names, but I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see what this looks like. I know they had another Street Fighter film that came out in the 90s that didn't do too well, but I'm excited to see how they do it now, you know, with new technology and stuff, and how this all goes. But give me some thoughts. Are y'all excited? I mean, y'all probably don't really play Street Fighter that much, but give me some give me some ideas. What does a Street Fighter movie even look like now today?
That's what I'm trying to think. Does it? Because the last game was more, I don't want to say open world, but it was very different in terms of like your traditional Street Fighter game, right? You could just walk up to niggas online and just start a fight type shit. From what you've told me, I think.
Yeah.
So if they're going to go that route. I don't know what that story and told or anything like that, but that could be pretty interesting. Was there a story or a campaign mode in the original Street Fighter games outside of just like the tournament mode type shit?
I think everybody kind of had their own story. It seems like whenever you finish the game, it would tell you like what they did like afterwards or something like that. For the most part. But the most storyline for me came from like Third Strike, which is like a whole spinoff of like the typical Street Fighter games. They got characters in there that you don't really even see anymore. But other than that, I'm not really sure what the real story of Street Fighter is. Mm-hmm. But I think that is the one thing that I'll be alarmed about is I don't know what they're gonna create to be the storyline.
I know these characters definitely have lore, and I'm sure somebody out there can comment like what the lore of each character is, their origins, and all that type of shit. I'm sure because I'm a fan of League of Legends Arcane, the show that came out on Netflix. So every single one of the champions in League of Legends has like their own deep lore. They were from a certain area, there's a giant war going on, and everything like that. So in the show, they kind of integrate the lore into the actual TV show, given there are some differences here and there, but for the most part, they are basing it off the actual storylines that they have for each character in the game. And if you play League of Legends, then their lore doesn't fucking matter when you're on Summoner's Rift. But I'd imagine that maybe they're going to do something along those lines. If they are going to do an original story, I don't know if I'd be too excited for that.
How do y'all feel about the 50 Cent casting? Do y'all think that it's almost like, why didn't you find like some newer talent, and like why are we getting 50 Cent? I'm not too familiar with 50 Cent's acting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I don't watch Power. I mean, I'm sure y'all have probably seen episodes of Power. You might have seen them.
Yeah. Even before that, we should be past the point of questioning. Oh, is 50 Cent now? He's not one of those musicians where you have to question whether or not he can do a role or not. He's been doing this long enough, long before Power, long before. When was Get Rich or Die Trying, the movie? Did that come out around the same time as
2007? Was it 2008? Was it
2005? I think
2005.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about the game Bulletproof. I think that came out a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. So he's been doing this for 20 years. He owns a production studio. Like. The guy, I think he knows what he's doing in terms of like being behind the camera, or even in front, being behind and in front of the camera. So I'm confident if this rumor is to be true, if this is fan cast or not, I think 50 Cent could do a really good job.
No, like this is being posted like by a lot of different like blogs and stuff. This ain't just like this is like he's actually locked in to do it if the movie happens. Like that's
50
one
posted
thing.
it actually.
Yeah, and I'm sure he played those games, so I'm sure he's kind of like he's been a fan, and he's probably ecstatic about being able to do that, about these things. But my own question was just like about is he being like kind of typecasted versus like finding an actor who might be able to do the role? Now I'm not sure what a Balrog looks like. Like I don't know how do you audition for that role? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you?
I think it's
do you, like,
mostly
growl?
Look.
Or like do you try to
see
fight?
The thing is, I think the thing that's the most interesting is Balrog was very clearly inspired by Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson is an actor.
Yeah, but he's 60.
They could have done the funniest thing. And I don't know why they didn't just do that.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat movies, while they weren't great, the original Mortal Kombat movie I love still to this day.
Absolutely.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation was not great, but it was still fun.
It has its appeal.
And the 2018 or the 2019, I don't even remember, 2021, I think it actually.
It might have been. I actually liked that one. That was fun.
It was good. It was pretty good. So and I know they're making a sequel to that too.
What we didn't like, and I think everyone kind of shared the same opinion. There's so much lore with Mortal Kombat. You didn't really need to make a new character and like have us follow him. You could have just taken one of the established characters, even if it was a newer character, and used him as the lens. We didn't need a new character, especially one.
That's how you make characters more popular.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't need one that wasn't in the game, isn't going to be in the game. Like he's still not in the game. They just came out with Mortal Kombat 1, and there's still no. What was it? I don't even remember that guy's name. It was like Tony or some shit. I don't
Jason.
know. Yeah. Something like that.
Miles or Ray, I think. Might have been Ray. I forgot what it was.
Whatever it was, he's still not in the game. So again, now it feels like the movie was about a different Mortal Kombat universe. You know what I'm saying? Than the Mortal Kombat universe that we know. So that was kind of pointless. I hope they fix that in Mortal Kombat 2. But even still, there's so much deep lore with Mortal Kombat that you don't need to build anything around it. Whereas Street Fighter, while there's lore, it's not nearly as deep as Mortal Kombat's lore. It's not nearly as interesting or like otherworldly. You know, it's just a street. You know, it's a tournament of fighters.
I have a guess as to answer that. I have a guess as to why they probably did that with the original character thing. And they might even do it with Street Fighter. Could it be because they don't want to like make one character look like the mascot for Mortal Kombat more than the other? But
that's what they should do.
That's what they should do. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it feels like they're kind of pigeonholing themselves into having like just one character be like the main focus of the story, and then everybody will kind of just focus on that instead of the other characters that they're building out. Because then it's like,
bro,
if you're the main character, we have to like focus on your story the most. Like I know that Scorpion is obviously like the most recognizable character from Mortal Kombat, probably, and that's kind of why they probably did it from tiers. Like the most popular Mortal Kombat characters, we gotta like give them priority in this film. Like we gotta show them first. But having the main character be somebody that's outside and not a part of the game kind of gives them the range to be able to explore these other characters without being like, oh, this movie is strictly about Scorpion, or this movie is strictly about Sub-Zero or Liu Kang or Raiden.
My thing with that is that if they had promoted, because they didn't promote this as a new character. They just promoted this nigga looks like Scorpion. That's Scorpion, right?
Yeah.
That's all they gave us. I promise you, if they promoted this movie as like the guy's name is Cole, by the way. Oh, yeah. This is we're following Cole, you know, and he's the ancestor of the Scorpion, you know, village and all that shit. Like, I don't think people would be nearly as interested than if they just saw in the trailer Scorpion fight Sub-Zero. Like, that's that's honestly all I need. Lean on the characters that we are already, you know, we have a relationship with, especially if you're as a franchised, you know, game like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. That definitely
I'm upset personally we didn't get any what's his nigga name? Johnny Cage. Yeah.
But they probably did it because and then the ones that they made in the 90s, they leaned on that. That was what it was. It was Liu Kang was the main character pretty much in that. You know? Right. So they were probably like, "Oh, maybe we should try something different." You know, maybe we shouldn't just lean on like Liu Kang as the mascot and stuff, because he was the main character in the first. I think in the second one did he die? You know, I can't remember. But in the second one, he was also kind of like in the mix and stuff, but they introduced other characters too, you know, and everything. Like I think Jax was also in that one too, and like just a whole bunch of other characters too. But he was the main focal point, and they're probably like, yeah, we probably don't want to remake the same movie all over again and focus just on that character. So let's try something new. That's my guess, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's if we're just talking about fighting games in general, fighting games are very difficult to make movies around. Because they're kind of like biopics, right? Because there's so much to get to
like them.
That it's not really easy to tell the full story. But to me, the way you get around that is by telling a simple story in that universe. And like, you know what I mean? If they just tell a story, for instance, let's take it back to Street Fighter, and let's say we're not using Ryu. Let's say we're using what was the not Chun-Li, the other girl, the American fighter.
Sakura? But no, she's not American.
Is it Kat? Is it
Felicia?
She works with Guile.
She's not really. I know you're talking about. Damn.
What the fuck was her name?
Cammy?
Cammy, yeah. So let's say the story is the Cammy is the main character, and we are Guile is lost in Japan or some shit like that. He's in some underground shit. So now she's a special operative. She has to go into like this underground Japanese fighting thing, and she thinks it's gonna be like a regular tournament, but it turns out to be like she has to fight fucking Baraka.
That's from Mortal Kombat. the big ass swords and shit.
Or she has to fight Vega or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
with the swords.
You were already got Blanca, I think.
Blanca. That's where
Blanca,
I was going.
Yeah. We're gonna cast, man.
So yeah, like and like she has to fight and there's like this mystical element and she wasn't expecting it. Now she's got to train, you know what I'm saying? She's introduced to
Master Bison.
I don't know my
Bison.
M. Bison. I don't know my fucking Street Fighter lore, y'all.
I'm surprised, bro. You was in the streets. Like you was. I
was a Mortal Kombat kid, bro.
And you was
I was a Mortal Kombat kid, and I was not a Street Fighter versus Capcom. I mean, I wasn't a Marvel versus Capcom guy either.
Got it.
I was straight Mortal Kombat for the most part.
Got it.
But yeah, like she like M. Bison is the big bad, or she's got to train with one of the older, street fighters or whatever, and like. That's like tell a story, tell a personal story, but like make it about the world. And again, you can introduce a Chun-Li where she's got to fight Chun-Li, or you can introduce all these other elements that exist within the universe. But for some reason, they feel like they got to tell everybody's backstory, and then you only get like 5 minutes of Ryu, 5 minutes of Ken, 5 minutes of Chun-Li, 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And now what ends up happening, like, why is Balrog in the first fucking Street Fighter movie, bro? Like, there's no need for that.
Yeah, he's not one of the main.
You did it just so you can have 50 Cent in it.
Yeah,
and that's the theme. That's the theme amongst these, video game, TV series and movies. They're gonna get Kevin Hart. They're gonna get Pedro Pascal. They're gonna get fucking. No, Kevin Hart's in that. What's it called? Isn't he in Fallout or one of those shits?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, oh no, please don't get Kevin Hart.
Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands.
He's in Borderlands.
They're gonna get somebody like that just so they have. Not only do we have these characters that you love from the video games, but we have these, superstars that you guys also love.
Yeah. Which, I guess I get it. You gotta have some star power there. But it also just occurred to me: is Jason Momoa playing Blanca?
He's playing Akuma.
Oh shit!
Which again, why is Akuma in the first one? Why is he not the big bad for the second or third?
Hold on, no, I kind of don't like that because Akuma kind of dark, and
he just looks like Akuma. They even both wear the Ulafala. Like it's.
I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of mad, man. I know we always do this with the black casting, but I feel like we could have found a black man for Akuma for sure.
Akuma's not black.
Google Akuma right now. I know
Akuma's
he's
not
like
black. He's for sure not black. He's
Google
he's Southeast
Akuma.
Asian.
Google Akuma. Google Akuma right now.
That's the name of the episode. Google Akuma.
Google Akuma, bro. You're not gonna find no light, any light form of Akuma. I think if they're gonna be like, because this is kind of like a racial thing, right? Like they made the villains, like back in the day, they made the villains darker. So
Roman Reigns was casted as Akuma, not Jason Momoa.
That's
Wait,
even
you're
worse.
talking about Roman Reigns, right? Not Jason Momoa.
I said Jason Momoa is gonna be Blanca, and you said Jason Momoa.
First of all, has anybody seen Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns in the same room at the same time?
We're about to.
Them niggas is Michael B. and Michael C. Jordan.
I can't remember. What does Roman Reigns look like?
Same niggas, different font.
He literally looks like Jason Momoa.
Oh, they
Just
do kind of
like-
look like, damn, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why would they both be in this movie?
That is pretty good casting for Akuma though. I can't be too mad at that, in terms of like the look. I'm sure they'll do like really good makeup, but fine, whatever. I won't.
Bro, I
even
think
go
Roman Reigns started to form himself into Jason Momoa because Jason Momoa became a big Hollywood star. Again, Roman Reigns is based on Jason Momoa the same way Balrog is based on Mike Tyson.
That might be true. You might have something there. I don't want to be that guy though, as well. But I feel like I gotta ask the question. I am in no shape or form trying to pander to the Gooners. But can y'all do me a favor and like Google who's playing Chun-Li?
I've seen it. She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, beautiful woman. But now we know Chun-Li.
Hello.
Chun-Li got thunder thighs. So my question is, are they gonna, are they gonna give her some thighs? Is she gonna work out for him? Or like, how is this? No, I'm serious. I am very serious, Like that's how she's known. She's known to be kicking niggas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So are they gonna like Are they gonna leg fish us? Are they gonna thigh fish us? They're gonna wrap some things around
Hollywood
it?
don't do that. Hollywood typically, and from what I've seen, they take thick characters and make them really thin.
All the time.
Oh damn. It's one of those again, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
They do it all the time.
For sure. If she's not naturally thick, then she's not gonna be thick in this movie.
If she was naturally thick, she wouldn't have gotten casted.
Yeah. No, she's mad small actually.
She's not
It's
naturally
happening.
thick.
That's what I'm saying. If she was, she wouldn't have gotten casted.
Yeah, you're right.
I guess
They could have got Suni Lee, but you know, who am I?
Yeah. We can. That's good. That's good. All right. Well, as we talked about last week, we had some really cool reactions to Will Smith. Or I had a really cool reaction. Y'all shit on this nigga. Y'all didn't like it at all. This Will Smith. He's back outside. He's rapping, dropping hits for everybody. You know, something for people to party to. And he came out with a new freestyle recently. I'm not sure where this freestyle happened. I'm not sure if y'all have heard it yet.
I've only seen the clip. I've only seen the clip on Twitter, but the clip that I saw on Twitter was legitimately really good. I think Will Smith heard all y'all talking shit about his Playboi Carti freestyle that he did on the radio and said, I'm getting my For All the Dogs Scary Hours edition on. And I'm gonna turn on some Conductor Williams or some modern boom bap, and I'm gonna show y'all that I still got bars.
This shit 4 minutes. All right,
We're
not gonna watch this whole thing, but
I do just put the.
You want to put?
You
want to play the clip?
Twitter clip. Yeah, just play the Twitter clip.
All right, let me get that loaded up. And how are we feeling? Like, what any initial thoughts on this?
My expectations are low. I was not a fan of that first freestyle. Even when they put it on a good beat, that just shows how much a good beat can carry you. I didn't like the Pretty Girl song. I didn't like the attempt to recover from the Pretty Girl song. I haven't heard that Pretty Girl song anywhere outside of Will Smith's Instagram.
Give it time, man. It's super new. Give it some time, man. Give it some time.
Will Smith.
It's gonna be on ABC Good Morning America.
Will Smith is not a slow burner type of guy.
Just give it some
time. It either
time,
hits
man.
or it doesn't.
Here, look. This was on some page called Fire, or it was on the channel Fire in the Booth or something like that. I think was his name.
Okay.
First of all, I already hate that. You know,
isn't that
Fire.
UK? That's the UK.
That's the UK one. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably
Fire in the Boot.
Yeah. Fire
Oh no, or is that the other dude? I don't know.
We can talk about it later. But this is what the clip is. Let's hear it.
Now I'm not the type of man to move in malicious ways, and I am too grown to play childish games. But if you talking crazy out your face up on the stage and disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage. Jokers dish it out.
Oh, it's that nigga. I hate that nigga.
A city full of real ones, wasn't raised to fake it. Jill to Meek Mill to the roots, it's all greatness. Global status from my Philly foundation. Perfect. I am a trailblazer. I'ma tell my own story. I am the narrator. I'ma rip the snakes out the grass. I'm a landscaper. I'ma go to heaven even though I'm a hellraiser. I am the illest. Yes, sir!
Why?
I am the illest.
That nigga Toupee is going crazy, bro. The fucking illest.
All them Street Fighter sounds in there, man.
Yeah.
The influence is there, man. And I guess that he deserves that because he did slap the shit out of somebody on stage. So
yeah,
and he didn't hit back. So that's technically a flawless victory, or a perfect, as Street Fighter would say.
You disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage.
Mm.
That's a bar, bro.
That's kind of hard.
That's a bar. He's gonna have one of those every trip. Yeah. Will Smith is whack.
When are we gonna say that? When are we gonna get over this slap? Like, how long is he gonna keep cashing this in? Like, all right, you slapped the nigga, bro. Like, all right, like
that might be the last one. I think that's the last one. You got, bro. If you're a rapper and you smack the nigga live on television, you gotta write a bar about it. Like, there's no way. Like, come on. You can't get away with it. You can't get away from that.
Did he drop an album too? Why did he get that off on there?
It probably is on there. Did you listen to it?
I tried. I didn't get through it though. It sounded clean though. It didn't sound like he was going to talk about no slapping.
And I'm sorry, but that bar kind of hits a little less hard when you remember that he started crying afterwards.
See, I disagree with that.
That was funny. Sorry.
I disagree with that because I'm an angry crier. I think people get a bad rap for crying when they're upset, right? Because crying don't always mean you sad. Sometimes it mean like you didn't get enough. You know what I'm saying? Like
you holding back. You know, like what I really want to do is gonna put me in jail.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
I can't
like,
really hit you the way I want to.
And again, Will is somebody who we make a lot of fun of, and people kind of. He wasn't crying because it took so much out of him to hit somebody. I think he was crying because, like, y'all, I've been waiting to smack one of you bitches like this whole time, and now y'all gonna kill me anyway, and I'm gonna just be on the news and all that stuff. I think he realized at that moment when he started crying, because it was when he accepted the award. When he started crying, he realized, like, damn, I might, like, this shit might be over for me. Like, I think that was more what the cries was about.
And that's why I don't respect it. If that's not really, like, standing in your consequences, like, knowing the actual consequences. Like, yo, bro, you're at the fucking Oscars. You went up and you slapped the host. You can't have any other expectations.
With his palm, too.
I do wonder
I'm never gonna forget that
if it was another
moment,
host, I wonder if he would have slapped him. Like, if it was, like, Conan
that was
O'Brien
always the conversation.
There.
Yeah, that was always the conversation. Would he? I have that feeling just in general about people, and like it gets kind of like.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah, I don't want to get fully into it, but yeah,
talking about his bars.
Yeah, people. Yes, people are more likely to smack somebody that looks like them over somebody that don't. Whatever that's about is something internal that they got to deal with. But yeah, no, he wasn't smacking Conan O'Brien. He wasn't even smacking Richie.
Ricky Gervais. Conan O'Brien, he probably gets shot on stage.
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't smack Ricky Gervais, and that nigga need to get smacked sometimes.
Absolutely.
But he wouldn't have done it.
Word.
Bill Maher might have got it though.
One of them.
We should draft that. Who Will Smith would have smacked? Yeah, if it wasn't Chris Rock.
The smackability rating, like 100% smack on the bottom versus 0% not touching them. You know, maybe going up there, and saying something.
Where's Eddie Murphy going?
He not smacking.
He's not. Yeah, I don't think he's slapping Eddie Murphy.
He's not smacking Eddie.
But then again, I don't think Eddie Murphy is making jokes about his wife as well.
Oh, I know.
Disagree.
Who he's smacking.
I think he would smack. I think he would make the joke. I think Eddie Murphy would beat the shit out of Will Smith. Like
on stage? You think it would have broke out into a fight?
Yeah. Well, Eddie not one of them. Eddie not. Everything I've heard about Eddie Murphy, he not one of them. They would have been scrapping up there, and it would have been the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to black people.
Yeah, that would have been.
It would have been the most
embarrassing.
They would have
right there cheering them on.
Yeah, we would have been right back to segregation.
No
if
black
Eddie Murphy
people at
and
the
Will
Oscars
Smith
ever again. Black to the back. Sit as far away from the stage.
They would have put fucking laws in place, bro. Like it would have been Jim Crow.
We would have been roped off
because of that one moment, bro.
We would have been roped off forever, man.
In the back, like all y'all get your awards in the back.
No more televised black awards at all. You know what I'm saying? If you won, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else comes and gives a speech on your behalf. Yeah, they got you wired in from another room. Yeah, man.
That definitely would have been it.
That would have been.
I think he would have smacked the shit out of D.L. Hughley.
Yeah, I think so too.
For sure.
Cedric the Entertainer.
He's smacking said. I got one. Is he smacking Pete Davidson?
Yes.
I feel like he's smacking the shit out of Pete Davidson.
Yeah. And Pete Davidson's doing the same thing Chris Rock did.
Yeah.
He's not fighting back.
Yeah. He would have sued.
Dave Chappelle.
No.
I don't think he's smacking Dave. I don't think he's smacking Bill Burr. I don't think Bill Burr makes that joke, but I don't think he's smacking him.
He's smacking Cat Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't. But he
might get shot.
I think he does smack him. Does he smack Matt Rife?
White dude?
Yeah. Young white guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
He ain't like that. Him smacking Matt Rife isn't.
I think he smacks Matt Rife off camera.
Like he smacks him so hard that he gets off the camera? Or you talking about like
No.
Like
when
after the
show.
camera's not
he catches
rolling,
them
yeah.
after the show. Yeah.
Oh.
I think he catches all these people after the show. Actually,
The only person he had to check right then and there was Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
no.
I'm not
I
mad
still
at
think like some people he get on stage for, but
Is he smacking
Yeah.
Kevin Hart?
no, he's from Philly.
Yeah.
After the show,
Adam
putting you in a
Sandler.
nuggie.
Adam Sandler?
No.
Hell no.
And Adam's not making that Joker.
Yeah, you know what? And that's the thing. I think he's smacking the shit out of Hannibal Buress for sure.
Yes.
He might shoot him on stage.
Yeah. Somebody's just been waiting for the moment to be done with Hannibal Buress for sure.
Not only is he smacking Hannibal Buress, security's jumping in and also beating Hannibal Buress.
Yeah. And Bill Cosby coming from out of nowhere and just jumping in that too.
Right.
Slipping a Quaalude in his drink.
But I do know that the Chris Rock thing also had like other legs because like there was something that happened with Chris Rock and Jada beforehand where like he had made another inappropriate joke about her. So it was like,
Oh, I thought he was trying to take her on a date. Isn't that what she said? Like Chris was like offered to take her out on a date or something like that.
I don't remember. I remember what I could be I could have misread this.
I think both things are true. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he did. She talked about back in the day that he did try to ask her on a date, but and I think it's before that before she was with Will, but also I did hear that he made it a joke about her at some other, at some other time. Like I don't know if it was like on somewhere live or something, or if he had just said something, but
because that's the thing. It wasn't so much the joke. Because I'm a big proponent of this. It wasn't so much the joke as you can't say that. Like you can't say that because you know I don't mess with you. Like so I think Will laughs it off, and I think Jada laughs it off if it's not Chris Rock, because you know I don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So like, Will first was like, yeah, it's not a big deal, and she gave him that look like we don't fuck with him, and he had to do what he had to do because again, certain people can make that joke and certain people just can't. She already felt the way about Chris, like so. Nah, Will, if you heard about it, I think if she hadn't already told Will, I don't fuck with Chris Rock, he doesn't smack him right then and there.
All right, so that's Will Smith bars.
Yeah, shout out to Will Smith for getting that bar off. Yeah,
and I think I'm tired of hearing about it already. It happened. The moment happened. David and Goliath, man. David would have been fucking unbearable if social media was around when he fucking beat that giant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Bro, stop living off this one moment, man.
If they recorded it and put it on World Star,
yeah, go smack somebody else, bro. Like,
do you have to? After you get one of those, you get one of those off, you don't have to.
I don't know. I just. Go in the boxing ring or something. Go fight somebody else, man. I'd like to see that. But stop rapping. I think make some good party songs, but don't be rapping.
Y'all saying he can't do either one?
I said that I like the party song. But that's just me. Speaking about hits, let's talk about Jim Jones and Nas. Hi, you can take the lead on this one because it's hip hop based, and I'm sure you're really torn on this. Are you a Jim Jones fan? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're obviously like a really heavy Nas fan in here, so
yeah. Nas is the GOAT. Nas is the GOAT. MC. Period. There's nobody better than Nas.
Yeah. Walk us down with this one.
So I honestly can't tell you what Jim Jones, because Jim Jones dropped an album a couple months ago. I don't know what he's promoting. I don't know why he's doing all these interviews, but for some reason he keeps bringing up the fact that he's a better rapper than Nas.
On what grounds?
He doesn't even know, because a lot of the stuff that he says isn't even true. I think it was sparked from he was on Joe and Jada's podcast. Terrible podcast, by the way. But
don't be throwing shots.
He was on Joe and Jada's podcast, and they had played a clip from another podcast where I think was a basketball player. I can't remember who it was though. Who was interviewing his nephew or somebody young in his life, and the kid is 22 years old. Basically said that Jim Jones is a better rapper than Nas, and Nas is not as relevant as Jim Jones, and no, I don't know any Nas songs, and Jim Jones is more popular than Nas, and blah blah blah. And you know, Joe and Jada shows that clip to Jim Jones, and Jim Jones kind of was like, yeah, I mean, he's right. You know, when you look at my stats and you look at Nas's stats, it's really like no competition. You know, look at his Billboard entries and look at my Billboard entries. So
and
people did that. People went and looked at the Billboard entries of Jim Jones and looked at the Billboard entries of Nas, and he's right. There was no competition because Nas has 5 times the number of Billboard entries as Jim Jones. Nas has 27 total entries on Billboard. He has 11, I think it's 11 top 200 album entries, whereas Jim Jones has 2, I believe.
I think the only thing Jim Jones had over him was one of his songs charted higher than the rest. That might have been Ballin' or something.
So what it boiled down to in Jim Jones's favor was Jim Jones's highest charting records were Jim Jones records, whereas Nas's highest charting records were features that he did. But oh wait, because again, the benefit of being 36 years old is I was there, and what I could tell you is Jim Jones' 2 songs that people know is Pop Champagne and We Fly High Ballin'. Right? If you're from New York City, you know that We Fly High is a Max B song. When you listen to it and you know who Max B is, shout out to Max B, still locked up, but you know that that's a Max B song. That whole Ballin' thing was an ad lib on a Max B song. And it became a Jim Jones song because Max B's paperwork wasn't right. But he still thought the record needed to go. Pop Champagne, the other record, was a Ron Browse song, and it was out for over a year in the clubs. You know, you could download it because you know it was still the MySpace era. But if you was outside at that time, you heard the Ron Browse version of Pop Champagne before anything. That song was already taken off. It only became a Jim Jones song when the music video got shot, and it was like on BET. So even the 2 songs that Jim Jones is known for are not really Jim Jones songs. But neither here nor there. Those are plaques that he got, and shout out to him. But some people are saying, isn't this like the most hip hop thing? Like you're supposed to feel like you're better than people, and you're supposed to feel like you're the top dog and all that stuff. But my question is delusion? Is there a difference between having supreme confidence in yourself and like straight up delusion to the point where like you're lying about who you are and what you've done for people? Would y'all?
Well,
good.
Nas ain't gonna come out and disprove it if he's just saying it. Can I read this tweet first before I also say what I'm gonna say that you posted? Somebody said, it just hit me that Jim Jones, even being a grown man that lived through the golden age of hip-hop, etc., views hip-hop through a modern-day Generation Z social media shade room DJ act-based scope. He feels like if you are not viral on social media amongst Gen Z kids, or if you are not on Kai Cenat's podcast, you are nobody in the rap world, even if you are Nas. It makes sense now. My thing is, yeah, I mean, your delusion is one way to put it, right? But there's also just like I genuinely feel like I'm better than this person, and if I have enough people agreeing with it, you know, does that kind of make it true in one section of my hip hop, you know?
Right.
What are so you said We Fly High and you said Pop Champagne. You said those weren't really Jim Jones songs, but those, right, you know, are basically known. Like, I guess he's credited. He's credited, and when people think about Jim Jones, they probably think about those songs.
2 records. Yep.
what are two better records that Nas has like than him, like in terms of like the party records type shit?
Probably If I Rule the World and
Party.
So here's the thing. What like If I Ruled the World was a party record. Like that record.
What can they play right after? Like if they played Ballin', like what could they play like after? Like if it was a Jim Jones versus Nas versus and they played Ballin', what would you play to contest Ballin'?
Owe Me Some.
Yeah, you could play You Owe Me. You could play Got Yourself a Gun. You could play like I said, If I Rule the World was a club record. Like if you were listening to music and rap music in '96, the record sounded like that. Because Bad Boy hadn't come out yet and was taking disco records to make basically modern hits that were, you know, the shiny suit era as we called it.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
But like before '96, it was I Love It When You Call Me Big Pop, but like it was like those type of records were like club records. You wouldn't play them after Ballin', they would be in a different set for sure.
But my question is, because a lot of those like bars in like We Fly High and Pop Champagne, a lot of those are just like not like, they're like kind of flashy bars. They're not like, he's not actually on there like, there's nothing to really deconstruct. It's a lot of like, you know, from the title, Pop Champagne, like that's flashy, that's like, yeah, that's like party hot type things. And that's why I asked, I'm like, does Nas have anything like that? You know what I'm saying? Like
Uchiwali.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. I take that before, you know, Rule the World and you know, Got Yourself a Gun. Uchiwali is a good one. What is Nas is just talking about? Like what? Like what is he talking about on there?
On
Nas
Uchiwali?
Like? Yeah.
Oh.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Right.
That song is about
you heard how that song starts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
And then so it's that one, but even on You Owe Me, he's talking about some deeper shit. Owe me back like you owe your tax. Like he's talking about taxes on there, bro. Like
owe me back like 40 acres to blacks, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
pay me back and we'll shake it like that, girl.
Yeah, it's like a party song, but with deeper levels. There's somebody listening to that song, yeah, but like you're not really hearing him though. Like there's somebody that like might be at the party, like be dancing to it. You could throw some money to it, but there's still that like, oh, he's talking about like reparations, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some other shit on there. There's none of that in Pop Champagne and in We Fly High. Right. But my point to that is just like, there's probably a lot of people that just like what Jim Jones, like that type of style of rapping. It's kind of like almost like the Kendrick versus Drake thing again, right? The shit that gets the people moving versus the shit that makes. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
I'm listening for sure.
Just hear me out. Like it's almost like that conversation in the sense that there's a lot of people that might not listen to Nas that like really enjoy Jim Jones, and so you get that section of people like, and some people might be like, yeah, that's my hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like the flashy shit. That's like they're kind of different styles in a way. And that might be the thing that people like the most. So I don't think it's like delusion from his side. I think it's just kind of he posing the question like, yeah, I might be better than him for real.
You're asking me like, is Klay Thompson a better basketball player than Kevin Durant? Because Klay Thompson can shoot more threes. Like, yeah, Klay Thompson is probably a better 3-point shooter than Kevin Durant. But there's no other element in basketball in which Klay Thompson is better than Kevin Durant in any capacity. And I wouldn't even say Klay Thompson. I'd probably say like Tyler Herro or somebody like that, where it's like, okay, you're really good at this one thing, but the other issue is not, Jim Jones is also not more successful than Nas. Like in whatever realm they're in, Jim Jones is not even the premier New York club music rapper. Like, let's say Nas got the.
I think he's coming on before Nas though. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying from a club perspective, right? Yeah. But if Nas is the premier conscious rapper from New York, you understand what I'm saying? So if are you putting Jim Jones on before Pop Smoke?
It depends on what the era is. Pop Smoke might come on if we're in that era, but when we go back to like that 2000s, you know, like classics, the things that people know that will get them moving. Yeah, I feel like that might be the time to put that on.
I mean, that's very. I mean, if you're saying, say that again. If you're
like, he said what I put on Pop Smoke versus Jim Jones. Like, yeah, I think there's like the way that I view like DJing and the way of mixing things like that. If that's the time to put that on, like We Fly High is a good song to get people moving and get people like, you know, like it's recognizable thing. The whole balling thing is like, you need that kind of like.
Is it bigger than In the Club?
Huh?
Is it bigger than In the Club?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Lean Back?
No.
Well, yeah. Actually, yeah, I think so. I
think Ballin' has stood the test of time better than Lean Back has, especially outside of New York specifically. I hear, you know, Ballin' out here. Out here Ballin' when I'm over in LA, like at a bar, or out here when I'm at like a, you know, a nice like black club down here, because you know there's a lot of Latin spots out here. I don't ever hear Lean Back anywhere outside of like maybe when I was living in New Jersey still.
What about some of the like Fabulous joints? You know,
they don't play much Fab out here. But in general, not really, bro. Like,
my thing is, We Stay Fly feels more like
Ja's like a party rapper though.
We Stay Fly feels more like general than like Lean Back does. Like We Stay Fly has like I said, the whole balling thing. Lean Back has the thing too, but I feel like a lot of those bars aren't really like. I don't know, like it's harder to recognize them than in like We Stay Fly. But keep going. What other song
I Just Want to Love You, Jay-Z, Pharrell.
That song specifically, I'm probably playing Jim Jones first.
Over
I Just Want to Love You,
baby. Really?
To get people going, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Because everybody's gonna say Ballin'. I'm not sure everybody knows all those lyrics from that song.
And even if you don't know it,
all you gotta know how to say is Ballin', bro, and do this.
Yeah, even if you don't like,
there's like engagement in it.
Yeah,
see,
it's like it's like swag
surfing.
surfing. It's like swag surfing, right? Like if you see people doing it, you're gonna get into it. Even if you've never seen that shit before, you might be interested in it. It's like a ritual kind of thing.
So from a DJ standpoint,
and Nas don't got none of those. That's what I'm saying.
Right. No, Nas doesn't have any of those, but that wasn't my point. I'm talking about him in his field and Nas in his field. Let's say they play two different sports, right? We talking about Kobe versus Adrian Peterson. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about two completely different sports. Jim Jones is not in the top 5 best New York club record makers, song makers. Nas is 100% the top guy at what he does in his field. So Jim Jones isn't even as successful at what he does well as Nas is at what he does well. That's more.
But but both things can be true in the fact that can be true, but it also can be true that even if Nas in his field is higher and ranked higher than Jim Jones in his field, that doesn't mean that if Nas went over the Jim Jones field that he could, you know, keep up with the same people in that category with the Ja Rules and the 50s in them.
There's data. So You Owe Me, I would say You Owe Me is probably Nas's biggest personal record. Reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot R&B and Hip Hop charts, number 59 on the Hot 100.
Right, but
Jim Jones,
to your point, to your same point, You Owe Me very much could be a Genuine song.
No, that's a Nas record.
The one parts of You Owe Me Something, that whole hook, that's Genuine. A lot of the parts that people know about that song is like that's Genuine, bro. Like the catchy part, like the catchy part of it all, like that's all Genuine.
I feel like a lot of people will fuck up the lyrics to the Nas part. The "Oh me back," like you, like they fuck it up. They saying the wrong words and shit.
Okay, so
I'd give you that.
Okay, so what Jim Jones record? Name 5 Jim Jones songs.
See, no.
Because it's like, oh yeah, I know that one part of that one song that, like, we know Pitbull songs. That makes Pitbull a bigger or better rapper than Jay-Z or Nas or
the
like
argument is that
MF Doom?
the argument is that some people might say, yeah, Pitbull is a better rapper.
Okay, right.
That's somebody down here, they gonna say Pitbull.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide. You ask 100 people in Miami who was a better rapper, Pitbull or Nas, 75% of them.
Right.
Maybe
so there's no objective.
85% of them.
So to y'all, there's no objective truths when it comes to music.
Not in art. It's all about like it's timing and preference, bro. Like it's just that's why it's like the whole the competitive part of it all. You have the right to say that, and if you can prove it, like if we can put on your record in a club or in a space, not even a club, but just in a space.
That's the
Hold
thing.
on, I just say in a club.
No. Wait.
Let me get it off.
I don't want you to get it off. I don't because I want to stop you there.
You don't know where I'm going with it.
I don't. Because that part doesn't. That part is not as important. In I want to know, why do we default to the club every time we talk about hip hop?